भाव कैमरा नहीं आ रहा है यार इधर।
क्या हुआ नहीं सर अभी?
So hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. So since also I'm so sorry for this, the class also delayed due to some technical glitch, but doesn't matter. Without any further ado, let's start our today's session. And so I have also included some new questions in our today's slides, okay, and which will definitely help us to clarify, okay, and also to see what are the other important factors that we also need to take into account while preparing for CGL, okay. In front of your screen, you can see in the first slide I have included the, you can say, word of the day that we actually do every day. Okay, so word of the day today is bespoke. Now, when we talk about, since this class is delayed due to some reason, I hope there is no one in this class. Okay, so all of you are requested to please have a look in the recorded version and definitely try to understand what we are trying to cover in today's class. Okay. So whenever we talk about bespoke, we are talking in terms of something new in such a way that it is manufactured specially for that particular person. Let's say, for example, you go to a tailor shop and you ask them to let's say to stitch a coat, okay, on the basis of your preferences only. That will be categorized under the category of bespoke. So what is bespoke? It's a synonym for custom made. Okay, custom made definitely means it is based upon. It is based upon the preference of an individual. Okay, the preference of an individual. Always remember, this work sometimes is very important, because you will notice these type of words in your paragraph, and in our word of the day, I actually try to cover only those words which actually will be very helpful in terms of paragraph reading comprehension is concerned. Okay. So bespoke, it's something, for example, like we can see here that it's tailored. Okay, it's custom fit, made to measure. It's a synonym. Tailored means tailored according to own preferences. Okay, custom fit means designed for only one person. Let's say you are going to buy a vehicle, okay, and you are preferring what you want in that vehicle specifically, that is designed according to your preferences. That will be categorized under bespoke. Okay. So here is antonym that you can say, it's ready-made. Okay, ready-made means when it is produced, when something is produced by keeping in mind the general population, not an individual. Rather we can say it's always about the production. Okay, the mass production that you also can notice here. So bespoke, it's something that is specifically designed for you, number one. Number two, based on your preferences. Number three, according to choices that you want to exercise in that particular case. Okay, so that's what bespoke means. In this sentence, you can also notice how bespoke has been used in this sense. For example, while factory made furniture is always almost less expensive, nothing beats the charm of a bespoke hand carved chair or table. Meaning, whenever we talk about the mass production, we always talk also in terms of that how much investment does it required during the process. Okay, so when it is mass produced, what will happen? It will definitely have some cost benefits, but when it is manufactured according to this term, according to this word bespoke, we definitely say that it is particularly designed for only one person on the basis of their preferences. Okay, so please to try to understand these type of words and try to also use it in your day-to-day basis. Now we will move on. I have included one paragraph question, and I included this paragraph intentionally because in this way you will realize that whatsoever we are covering in our classes, for example in the language English, you will definitely notice that some type of these fill in the blanks that you are seeing here will definitely be from those sentences that I utter in the class. Okay, so here is the direction according to the question is, in the following passage some words have been deleted. Okay, now please to fill in the blanks. Select the most appropriate option for each blank. Now the question starts with the Seoul city government is asking people for help to correct poorly translated street signs with prices on offer for. Okay, now when you have a look that option number one, and I have also included options based on, for example, let's consider this option number 1. Select the most appropriate option for blank number 1. Okay, this, those, that, or these, meaning we are referring to these connotative. Rather, we can say also what the term is denoting in our, denoting means dictionary meaning. Connotative means what it actually signifies. Okay, always remember it. So when we have a look to this option, we definitely can see that Seoul city government is asking people to help to correct poorly translated street sign. Now we had option like this, these, that, and those. Now in this sentence you can see we are actually referring to these poorly translated street sign. It means we are referring to something which is already there. We are just trying to identify. Whenever these type of sentences that you will see, you definitely refer to, for example, you definitely refer to this type of word. Okay, something which is already there, number 1, and you are trying to modify, you are trying to correct, or you can also say when you refer to something relating to one sentence, that will be always considered under the category of those. Okay, always keep this in mind. So the option number 1 will be defined according to for those who spot the most error. Okay, for those who spot the most error. It's running dash to be campaign calling on Koreans and foreigners, and dash to keep their eyes peeled for dash in English, Japanese and Chinese text. The Korea Times reports. Okay, there is dash focus on public transport signs, maps, and information signs at historic sites as part of a drive to improve the experience of a foreign tourist in the South Korean capital. Now, in order to understand this question, we also need to keep in mind that how do we identify, what are the various methods that we also need to keep in mind whenever we try to fill these sentences, these fill in the blanks with rather some connotative word, rather some denotative word, also some particular words relating to the same paragraph. For example, we have option number 2, that it's running. Okay, now whenever we talk about running, it definitely follows, okay, that it will be filled by an article. Now how do we come to understand in terms of article? Because remember, we are talking about, okay, we are talking about here a two-week campaign. Okay, 2-week campaign, it means we are referring to time and also referring to a time in that particular sense. Whenever we talk about a time in its particular sense, we always use a. Okay, remember, we will cover in our upcoming classes how to use articles, what are the rules and regulations, but I always try to cover these rules and regulations through the use of these terms, how to use these in our paragraphs, in our these type of questions. Okay, so we will also try to cover separately the use of article, but meanwhile what we can do is we can also cover these topics while covering these type of questions. Okay, so whenever we talk about time, okay, in a particular period of time, then we refer to a. So it's running a 2-week campaign calling on Koreans and foreigners. Okay, now here we have again fill in the blanks, to keep their eyes peeled for. Okay, and if you move to question number 3, okay, if you move to question number 3, what you will notice is that select the most, we have option like same, similarly, alike, and likely. Okay, so okay, what I'm trying to say, actually my purpose of including these paragraphs in today's class was just to let you know that how do you identify the most appropriate option while you are giving a question like these. Okay, so when we talk about same, similarly, alike, and likely, okay, same, we have options like same, similarly, okay, alike, and likely. Okay, you can also fill these blanks by uttering each of these words in those blank spaces and try to see which is most meaningful. Okay, So when we try to add it's one of the strategy. Okay, now also you can try to see that it is talking in terms of, it is talking in terms of comparison. Whenever we talk about the comparison, we use something like simile or metaphor. Simile is direct comparison, metaphor is indirect comparison. For example, we say she's is as beautiful as Rose. Okay, this is similar because we are comparing with as beautiful as. Okay, but when we use metaphor, we say, for example, like he was like a lion in battlefield. Now, like a lion, we are not comparing in terms of similarity. We are rather we can say we are referring to something. We can say the quality of someone directly addressing to that particular subject that exists in this sentence. For example, we can say in this sentence, okay, that he was roaring like a lion. Okay, it means we are comparing the characteristics that specifically is peculiar to lion with the characteristics, with the qualities, when we are taking into account those characteristics. Okay, those characteristics of women given in the sentence. So Korean and foreigners. Okay, here try to replace one word. You will notice. Okay, well, you will notice, and I will give you 2 seconds to I will give you 2 seconds to answer this question. Okay, since you all are in that recorded version because of the delay in today's class. So I would definitely like to give you a pause for a 2 second, and I would request you to please answer. Okay. So it's in this sentence, it is talking about, it's running a 2-week campaign calling on Koreans and foreigners. Okay, it means it is taking into account each and every person that is belonging to that geography in that particular time. It means there is no differentiation in terms of the people. See, here it is written down Koreans and the foreigners. It means each and every person that is belonging to that particular geography is not differentiated. Rather we can say they all are considered, they all are being considered here in one framework. And whenever we are talking in terms of without any discrimination, including without any discrimination, number one, number two, including all other phenomenon, including all other constituent parts, we are talking in terms of this word alike. Okay, so alike will be used where there is no discrimination. Number one, there is no priority, there is no concept of, for example, the word of the day that we discussed today. Okay, that is custom made, tailor made. Okay, so whenever there is no discrimination, we always talk in terms of alike. Okay, always remember, same means you are comparing one thing with other. We are not comparing here, we are just trying to include everyone. Similarly means if you compare the action or event of any one, we can say any one part with another part, we actually use similarly. Okay, and number last is likely. Likely means the event that has exactly happened as it has previously been happened in some past event. For example, let's say if there is epidemic. Okay, we can definitely refer that it is more likely. It means the chances of occurrence. Okay, the chances of occurrence will be more whenever we talk about the word likely. Okay, always remember. So you need also to figure out which type of most appropriate word can be used in these type of questions. Okay, and that definitely will help you when you will have a look to this question. So I would request you all to since none of you are here, so I would request you all to please complete option number 4, question number 4 and question number 5, and meanwhile I'm sliding to question number 4 to question number 4's options that are given to you. So here you can see these are four options in relation to our option number 4, and also to question number 5. Okay, so please do try to attempt on your own, because I can simply solve these questions, but these won't help you as far as preparation is concerned. Okay, so please to have a look to these questions and please try to attempt these paragraph. Now next question is select the synonym of the given word. Now whenever we talk about coerce, we are talking in terms of something which is done forcefully, okay, which is done forcefully, है ना? You can say forcefully, number one. You can also say something that put pressure on something, okay? Whenever you pressurize someone, now that I have uttered the answer, I am so sorry for that. So coercion means whenever something try to replace another thing through the use of force, okay? This force is very important, okay? Always remember this force, this pressurize, the act of pushing someone to an extent, okay? The act of pushing someone to an extent, but remember the catchy term here is without their approval, okay? It means you can also force someone to progress in their life, okay, but you are not coercing, rather you are suggesting in those terms. So whenever we talk about coercion, we always take into account when something is done forcefully without the approval of a person, who actually is in those conditions, okay? So always do try to remember. So the answer to this question will be pressurize, okay? So coercion means forcing someone to do some activity, okay? Now I think you must have understood the word coercion means. Now we will move on to next question, that is, in the sentence identify the segment which contains the grammatical error. Now the question here is a statement which is having one error on the basis of grammar. Let's say the question is we had to decline several order in case that the production was held up due to labor strike. Now when you refer to this sentence, at first glance it will appear to you that it is not having any error. But remember, we just talked about in our previous question that how that those are used. Whenever we try to denote something, we always try to use these particular three words, okay? These words are always taken into account. But always remember, in sentence, whenever we refer to something which already is being referred, then we need to eliminate the use of the particular word. For example, that, okay? Now understand the difference. When I say okay, in that house, okay, it means we are trying to refer to something which is existing, number one. Number two, which is also at some place, okay, which is also at some place, some distance, having some distance from the observer. Let's say you are standing here and you are referring to some object here, you can also refer with that, okay? But these will come when you have plural meaning, okay? And those will come when there is plurality, and also there is some type of peculiar qualities associated with them, okay? Always remember that these and those all are contextual. There are just a minute difference between them, and those minute differences are analyzed in terms of what are being represented in that particular sentence, okay? So in that particular sentence, you can notice we are simply referring to labor strike, okay? Labor strike means we are actually referring to one event, okay? And we are trying to observe something, and whenever we try to observe something which has already been referred, that there will be a decline in several order, okay? It means this question already emphasized upon an argument that if the labor strike will happen, then definitely it will definitely produce less order, okay? And in that sense, we will face a decline in terms of delivering those order, okay? It means we have a cause here, okay, and we have an effect here. Whenever we have a sentence which actually talks about cause and effect, we always try to eliminate these denotative term, okay? And you can see here this that, okay, this that is having a denotative function which is used without any sense in this particular instance. That's why the error will contain in this part only, that, okay? So the correct answer to this question will now become in case that, okay? Now the revised version will be we had to decline several order, okay, in case production was held up due to labor strike. Okay, these differences that you need to take into account while covering these type of questions when we are talking about grammatical error. Okay, grammatical error is not always about, you can say, the subject verb agreement, or also you can say the grammatical error not always about tenses. Rather, sometimes it is also about what sense this particular statement is trying to make. Okay, sometimes these sensical words will also be asked in your examination. Reason being because they are not just trying to how much grammar you know, rather they are just trying to know how much fluent while using those structure in your day-to-day exercise. Okay, how you exercise those day-to-day structure. Remember always, that's why we have been given here that this is a generic term. Always remember what is generic. Generic is something that we exercise in our day-to-day activity, day-to-day life. Okay, so whenever a generic sentence like this will occur, please try to speak those sentences within yourself. Number one. Number two, then try to analyze what is the most abnormal, not abnormal we can say. Also try to analyze in which part you are facing the problem. Okay, while uttering those sentences within yourself, and then you will definitely realize that this portion is having some. If you don't know this rule that we have just discussed now. Okay, so the correct answer to this question will be in case that that is inappropriate in terms of this sentence. Now we will move on to our next question, that is question number 8, that is select the most appropriate word to fill in the blank. Okay, now these type of questions always remember, and also I also told you, actually, like I told you in your first class, that grammar or English is not something that you will strengthen from the books. Rather, the more you practice, the more fluent you become, and the more fluent you become, there is more chances of clearing or marking the correct responses pertaining to these type of questions. Okay, so please try also to build your vocabs. Please try to speak English in your day-to-day life. That is the most important thing, and that will definitely help you to clear your doubts, to mark these questions, these type of questions in a correct way. Okay, so now his company has the dash of producing the best cricket ball in the country. Okay, now whenever we talk in terms of superlative degree, remember this comparative and superlative degree. What is comparative degree? Comparative degree, for example, I write good, okay, better and best. Okay, whenever we use a comparative and superlative degree, we always refer to some words which actually pertains, which actually we can say gratifies those sentences. Like for example, in this particular sentence, it is talking about a company. Okay, and that company is producing the best. Okay, remember this catchy phrase, producing the best. Whenever we talk in terms of production at its best, we always refer to the word, for example, like reputation. Okay, and now one of the important question, that how will you identify that which is the most correct one? The best way to do is to simply find the meaning of these words. Okay, and you will find the meaning of these words when you will have a clear-cut understanding of the vocabulary. Okay, that are also included in your syllabi. Okay, so the correct answer now will become the reputation, because when you place opinion here, his company has the opinion of producing. Opinion is what? Opinion is something. Let's say someone else's thought is opinion. Okay, someone else's thoughts is opinion. Branded something, which we can say branded something which actually describes any product. Okay, any product produced under one unique name. For example, we have various brands like Samsung, Whirlpool. They are unique in the sense that they have one and only one name. Now, what is position? Position actually refers to the placement. Okay, what is the placement of a particular object will be defined its position. So we are not talking about here, neither we are talking about someone else's opinion, rather not talking about brand nor position. We are talking in terms of the popularity of that particular company, and that popularity actually comes from, we can say, the reputation. Okay, that the sense of respect. Okay, the sense of respect. Okay, reputation always be gained through this process. Okay, so I think you also need to build your vocabulary. Okay, and if you are too weak in that, doesn't matter, please try to place these words in this fill in the blanks and try to see which is the most appropriate one. Okay, now we will move on to our next question, that is select the antonym. Whenever we talk about expansion, what is expansion? Expansion is adjective of expand. Okay, and what is expand? Expand means something. Expand means something which grows. Okay, which grows continuously. Okay, something which grows continuously, we define in terms of expansion. Okay, so whenever we talk about expansion, it means which something which grows continuously, then the antonym will be something which is not growing continuously, rather something which is we can say contracting. Okay, something which is contracting due course of time. Okay, contracting due course of time. Okay, and whenever we talk about contracting due course of time, we are talking about the compression. For example, if you stretch an elastic, it will be expanded, and when you leave it, it will again be compressed. Okay, so compression means something which is a phenomenon, an activity through which something or someone's volume is being compressed. Okay, so the antonym of the word expansion is compression. Extension is something when let's say we have a point A to B, and then we extend it to point C. This is called extension. When you we can say when you extend the boundary. Okay, when you extend the length. Augmentation, inflation. Okay, remember, inflation has two meaning. Inflation also relating to economy, and inflation also means to inflate the balloon. Okay, inflate the balloon. Okay, BALLWN, balloon. Remember yesterday's class, we have talked about homonyms and homophones. Okay, so homophones are something, okay, which sounded similar but differ on the ground of meaning, and homophones and what is homonyms? Homonyms means, phones means something which is, remember this phone, PHONET, phonetic means when you utter something. So something that will be uttered will be sounded similar, we consider it as homophones. And something which has two meaning, something which has let's say with same pronunciation but two representation, that will be called our homophones, homonyms. Okay, so the correct answer to this question will be compression, that is option number 4. Now we will quickly move on to our next question since we are running out of time here. Select the antonym of the word scarce. Okay, scarce means something in terms of quantity. Okay, whenever we talk about in terms of quantity, okay, a quantity in terms of some type of shortage, okay, that is scarce. Let's say, for example, there is scarcity of rain. Then what will the scarcity of rain will refer to? The scarcity of rain itself will refer to how much volume something has decreased. Okay, so that's why when we talk about scarce, we talk in terms of something which is abundant, ABUNDANT, something which is in abundant quantity will be referred to as plentiful. So scarce antonym will now become the plentiful. The plentiful itself symbolizes the something which is in abundance, something which is exceeding the desired quantity. Okay, and scarce is something which is not exceeding, rather limiting. Okay, limiting the desired quantity. Now, one of the important questions that you will also ask, that what is the importance of doing this class in English language only? Okay, I always try to address this question because it definitely feels to me that sometimes you get bored while I'm covering these topics. Now, please try to understand why I am using the word I'm using language in English, because you are preparing for something which won't be just on the basis of simply filling the blanks, rather also on the basis of how you utter it in your day-to-day life. So again, I would request you all to please go through these videos again and again and try to listen what I actually say in the classroom, because that will definitely help you. That will definitely help you in order to do some questions like these. Okay, Okay, so now let's move on to our last question for the day, that is question number 11. Select the wrongly spelled word. Okay, now these two type of questions are very much frequently asked questions. For example, the wrongly spelled word, and please arrange according to the word they will appear in the dictionary. These are the most frequently asked question in the examination. That's why it's very important that you also keep in mind. Now we will definitely talk about in our tomorrow's class that how do you need to it means how you places the word in like it is placed in dictionary. We will definitely talk it about tomorrow. But when we talk about the wrongly spelled word, you just need to familiarize yourself with so many words you can. Okay, as many words as you can, and that's why we are trying to cover our syllabi in those method only, in those languages only, so that you can familiarize yourself with so many English word. Okay, मैं हिंदी में भी पढ़ा सकता हूँ आपको कि इसका मतलब ये है, इसका मतलब ये है, but it won't serve the purpose. Still, if you think that English is not preferable language for you, please do let me know. I will definitely try to change my way of teaching. Okay, so now this question is select the wrongly spelled word. This is wrongly spelled because you know calendar is, okay, calendar. Okay, career, callous, carriage, these all are right. So calendar here is written in a you can say in a wrong way. Okay, so please try to have a thorough understanding of all these words, and that's the basic reason I use so many English words in the class as I can, because that will definitely help you. Please try to align yourself with this idea that if you study English in Hindi, then how will your English be much fluent? Okay, if you are joining this class because you know that you need to stand to certain parameters, because that parameters will guide you in answering these type of questions. Okay, you can never strengthen your English just by simply looking through those dictionary. You can definitely we can say you can definitely try to strengthen, STRENGTHEN. Strengthen means making something strong. Okay, making something strong. Okay, that's why I emphasize more upon the use of English language in the classroom. Okay, there is a particular notion that you can also do English in Hindi. You definitely can do it, but you also need to be cautious there. Okay, so please try to identify yourself with these words that we have covered in today's class. There are so many questions that we still need to cover, but we will definitely cover in tomorrow's class, since the class today was delayed due to some technical issue. Okay, so meanwhile, please to take care, please to have a revision of this question, and please try to familiarize yourself with so many words that you can. It will definitely guide you in upcoming classes, in upcoming examination. Okay, so please take care of your health. Please keep revising. We will definitely meet tomorrow at our the regular schedule time, that is 3 to 4. Okay, I will rest today's class here now. Please to take care.